Before we get into my beta impressions for week 1, I just want to give a big thank you to all my new subscribers and viewers out there. You guys are amazing, and I'm so thankful that you guys have been watching my stuff, especially my shorts. It's been very humbling, and just thank you so much. And with that, let's get into Battlefield 6. First I want to mention is that I love the more grounded and modern feel of the game, and the attention to detail is top-notch. Like, I'm so used to seeing all these shooter games be all cartoony and colorful and vibrant, like happy-go-lucky, yeah, we're shooting each other type stuff, but seeing a more grounded take, more similar to like how Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4 were, is honestly very refreshing in like in a market where like everything's like Fortnite, everything's colorful, everything's cartoony, and I wouldn't say kid-friendly, but they're clearly appealing to a more younger audience. And one thing I really love about the beta is that the new revive mechanic where you can just drag people, it feels like something that should have always been in a game like this, right? I mean, like, it just feels like a no-brainer. Like, how come we haven't had this featured in other Battlefield or other shooter games? It's just such a massive quality of life thing to have in a game where it's built around teamwork, you know what I mean? It's so much better than, like, say 2042 and like other Battlefield games where you just have to like revive them where they went down. It's so good. And there's just so many quality of life things in this beta that I got to play that were just so good and just so well thought out and well designed. But there are some things that need tweaking. Other thing is that I think the firing range is fantastic. It's well designed, and it's perfect for getting different feel for the different weapons, right? And it's fun. It's great, and I love that you can go in and out of it. There's just two things I wish were better. I wish you could customize your in-game settings, like your graphics and whatever, while in the firing range. And I also wish there were some moving targets in the firing range instead of just stuff that stands still. Or maybe even a more fleshed out one that like lets you like have like an aim trainer or something. I don't know. Another side note, this is something my friend really wants. I'm not much into the vehicle stuff. I'm more into the infantry side of things, but he loves vehicles. And having sort of like a sandbox place where you can practice driving and flying vehicles would be pretty cool. Something similar like the firing range, but mainly for vehicles. It could be like a garage or some sort of like outdoor airfield where you can just practice driving and flying vehicles. Another thing I really enjoyed was the loadout structure of it. Like, I like in the game mode as well as like for conquest. This kind of bleeds into the loadouts as well. I like that there's like a free weapons mode and like a closed weapons mode. Like, you have those, like, die-hard class people who really like the closed weapon system, or, like, only Assault can use ARs, supports can only use LMGs, and you get the idea, right? And, like, that's really cool if you want a more team dynamic type of gameplay structure, which I do enjoy. There's also the open weapons for regular Conquest, where, like, you can literally just use whatever weapon you want in any class. And just having that freedom available is really cool, and while also having that option to play more strategically. Ultimately, it feels like both parties will be satisfied, assuming they have open and closed options for every game that they plan on releasing. And the attachment system for each gun, having 100 points to spend, that's something I've seen before in like Call of Duty and stuff. Granted, I haven't played a COD since 2019. Well, I haven't played a COD often since 2019. I've dabbled in, like, Cold War, but I played the campaign, but that's about it. I didn't really drive the multiplayer all that much. But it was fine, I guess. That's off topic. Anyway. And going off some more positive stuff, the character movement feels just right. It's a good balance between freedom and grounded realism of how you move, and there's no crazy movement tech, like no omni movement like in the recent Battlefield. There's no, like, slide canceling or all those other crazy moves that people would do in Call of Duty. It feels very grounded, like I said before, and also just so fun to just run around. And if I had to give it one word, I'd probably give it the word tactical, because the gameplay feels very, like, it's like a fast-paced tactical game, and just the overall flow just takes me back, man. Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, and it's the exact experience I've been hoping for. It's like, it's just fun, guys. Like, honestly, I'm sad the beta's over, but I can't wait for next weekend when I get to play it again. And I'm sure we'll get some new modes and some new maps next weekend, and I'm excited for that. But I'm not fully sold, as much praise as I'm giving the game, I'm not fully sold on it quite yet. It's not a game I'd say it's safe to pre-order, because they can still mess up the launch, let's be real. Like, the beta could be, like, top tier, perfect, runs great. Then when you come to the full game, it could run terribly. Like, That's still a possibility. So I wouldn't get your hopes too high, considering this is only like a vertical slice of the whole game. I don't mean to be cynical, but that's just how I think you should approach this. And I do have some minor feedback and criticism that should be worked on prior to launch. The UI and settings, like the whole interface, like navigating the menus to graphics, the UI stuff is all very convoluted and very disorganized in it. I'm pretty sure it was kind of the same in 2042. Like all this, there was like so many different like tabs you had to click on to go through different menus, and like it was hard to find stuff you wanted to change. Like it was very hard to change controller settings, for example, and also the HUD elements as well. Like that's the stuff I really want to change, the HUD elements, because like I think the HUD is great, but I would like it if stuff was a bit smaller. That would be nice. And if there was an option to change the scaling of everything really on the HUD, I could not find it during the time I had with the beta. But that's just my personal preference. That's not like a negative or anything. That's just how I like to play. Connection was mostly solid. I did run into some desync issues where time to kill felt inconsistent. I would hit someone with like several shots. They'd like two-shot me with their assault rifle. It's pretty crazy. And I noticed for like the King of the Hill and Domination game modes, it took a very long time to find games. People just weren't playing them. I don't know. Like I just had a hard time. Actually, across the board, I had a hard time finding matches. It would take, at least for me, on average 2 to 3 minutes to find a game. Sometimes it'd be instant, and sometimes I'd have to wait several minutes to find a game. And I feel like this would really... This is a good argument for a server browser, I feel like. Because having one would not only let people, like, skip such long loading times or matchmaking times, they could also choose, like, what modes and what maps they'd want to play specifically, I feel like. And that'd be very beneficial to the longevity of this game, I feel. I'm not sure if it will have a server browser at launch, but like I said before, I hope that it does, because having a server browser would help alleviate those long search times for matches. Also, I wish you could edit your loadout during matchmaking as well. Like while you're searching for a match, wish you could edit your loadout. That'd be nice. I won't touch too much on the maps in this review, as I'm going to make a separate impressions view after week 2. But to give you my impressions of the maps, I think they're far better than Battlefield 2042's launch maps. Like there's more variety and not as big, which I think is a good thing. But some are a little too small. These are the ones that I've played. Like what was it called? The Egypt map was, I felt kind of small when compared to some of the other maps, especially for 64 players. It could just be me. Maybe I'm freaking out and doesn't actually mean anything, but I guess the moral of the moral of what I'm trying to say is, like, even the biggest maps feel small for a Battlefield game. I'm hoping for some slightly bigger maps that really show that all-out warfare that Battlefield is known for. And to go into some visual stuff, going from indoor to outdoor areas would, like, completely blind me. I don't know what technical thing that's called, if it's like bloom or whatever, but whenever you enter or exit a building, you'll get the outdoor lighting will flash you, and it makes it hard to see stuff. And it's quite annoying, especially if there's like a guy like right outside, you can't see him because you're just blinded by the sun. I don't know the technical term for that lighting technique or whatever, but maybe it's global illumination, I'm not sure. And one thing I'm not a sniper, so this should be pretty good. Some pretty good stuff, but I do think the sniper glint is a bit too big and bright, and I'm pretty sure they're adjusting it, so I'm hopeful that snipers won't be as obvious, because like you can see them so obviously and so easily, and it's very easy to take out snipers. That is, if they're not kill camping you or spawn killing you, which I noticed happened a lot in the game mode Breakthrough. To the point where I just didn't play that much of it. I only played Conquest and King of the Hill, but Breakthrough was a pain. Like you'd spawn in, and it might just be me, might just be the teams I matched with. I only played like 4 games of Breakthrough, and for each one, you'd always get spawn killed by snipers, which I think is pretty funny considering what I just said about the sniper glint. But I think this is more of a spawn issue rather than a sniper issue, and it was very not fun. Like you'd spawn in, walk 2 steps forward, and you just get sniped. And hopefully they adjust the spawns for these maps and these game modes so that way it's not as bad. But I think the biggest thing I feel like is the bloom, basically the accuracy when firing or moving,
and overall weapon balance, but I'll talk about bloom first.
it feels a little weird. I don't want to say it's like, it's not too bad, but something just feels off. I'm not sure how to really explain it, but I get that it's meant to prevent long-range laser beaming, and so that way people have, like, they can't laser you and to death, but it's mainly the hip firing shooting. It feels very inaccurate and not worth doing. Even when you attach the lasers and stuff, like, hip firing isn't viable at all. And I wish it kind of was. While I get they want to encourage you to aim down your sights and shoot, which feels great, right? Just sometimes you don't want to waste those precious milliseconds to aim down your sight, and you just want to hip fire. And most times when I hip fired, it did not feel very good. Now, I'm not the best when it comes to shooters, but I'm pretty decent, I feel like, and at least average at the game. I don't know, maybe it's something that I'll have a different opinion on for week 2. But we'll see. And if anyone feels the same about the bloom mechanic, maybe they could fix it by giving guns more recoil and more sway, or increase the damage drop-off. I'm not sure.
And when it comes to the overall weapon balancing, I think it's pretty good across the board, but there are 2 weapon categories that I think need some work. Primarily shotguns and LMGs, my bad. While the shotgun is perfect up close, I feel like it does a little too much damage at longer ranges, and I feel like its damage drop-off should be adjusted slightly. Because that shotgun, let me tell you, that shotgun was dominating in the beta. Everyone was using it, and it was quite annoying getting one-tapped from like 100 meters away with someone using a slug on a shotgun. And me personally, I feel like the LMGs were a little underpowered, so I didn't really use them all that much. I feel like they just need maybe just a slightly faster rate of fire, and some other guns like the AK 205 can use a bit more recoil on it, as it's very easy to laser with that rifle, and its time to kill is incredibly fast because of it. There's little things like that, and just an overall balancing check across the board, I think should be done.
But I think the biggest problem that I think most people might, well, it might not be a problem for most people, but for some people specifically, the requirement of secure boot. For me personally, I know what a BIOS is, I know how to navigate it, I know all that stuff, right? But not everyone is as, doesn't have that know-how like I do, and a few of my friends, mainly people with Asus motherboards, were struggling to even enable secure boot. Like, one of my friends even bricked their own PCs trying to play this beta. Now they gotta get a new motherboard or whatever, or somehow try to reset the settings on their motherboard. And I get it's for the anti-cheat, right? But sure, there has to be a better way to do it and not require some obscure feature in your BIOS to be enabled. If you need to enable secure boot, please look up a guide. Please look up a guide for your specific motherboard. I made a video about Windows, for Windows, and a lot of people are having trouble with secure boot, and I know it depends on what type of motherboard you have, and I plan to make a more extensive, more thorough guide on how to enable secure boot closer to launch, hopefully, and subscribe if you want to see that. But yeah, overall, there's a lot of great stuff here in Battlefield 6, and I'm excited to play week 2 of the open beta. Hopefully explore the New York map, I hope we get to play that, and some new modes. I do really want to try out Team Deathmatch. I don't know if that's going to be in week 2, but I'm looking forward to it, and yeah. Those are my thoughts on Battlefield 6 open beta, and with that being said, I just want to thank everyone again for watching. If you made it this far, please consider subscribing. We're so close to 500 subs, and it'd mean the world to me if we could hit 500 subs before the end of August. And with that being said, see you guys next time. Peace out.